already?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you see the video. It goes towards it, And what's going on, my people? What's up? What's
What's
up?
up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the FML podcast, man. Look, I'm telling y'all, man, we got something special today. We a little loaded up. We a little loaded up, man. We got the Unfiltered Brothers here with us. Yo, go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Derek Robinson, co-founder, co-host of the Unfiltered Brothers podcast.
Hey, what's going on with y'all? My name is Joe. Same thing, co-host, co-founder of the podcast.
That's what's up, man. We happy to have them on with us today, man. We going live, man, off the cuff. We got a chance to rap a little bit off camera, but we excited to have the Unfiltered Brothers on with us. And then we also got a return guest on today. We got Mr. West is in the building. What's up, Mr. West? How you doing today, man?
Peace. I'm feeling good, feeling great. I'm here with some good brothers, so I'm ready for the good conversation.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so we got Gio, man. He got a video for us. He said, yo, it's in the financial space. So we're going to tap into that little financial talk real quick. G, let me know whenever you're ready. You got the video loaded up. But
Cool.
we about to get ready to talk a little financial talk, man, and have a quick discussion. We got a couple of topics for y'all today, man. So y'all gonna make sure y'all stay tuned with us because we got some great stuff to go over with y'all.
Well, I gotta get my partner on here, man. It ain't gonna be right unless I have one of my main men on here, man.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
There go
you
my
can.
guy.
Yeah, the most savage, Trayvon.
Exactly.
The most savage.
All the way savage. I don't know what's in it. It's something about this last. It has to be what Paul like the last
Last
6
ye-
months or so,
Yeah,
year or
it's
so.
probably about like the last 8 months to a year, man. The spirit of G traveled in the trash.
Exactly, man. I calm down a little bit. He the one that's like, no, like what's wrong with you, man?
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
But the combativeness
Yeah.
of G. Maybe not the same ideology, but the combativeness.
Exactly. But here on FMF, we talk about some serious issues, and we're not afraid of any issue. We talk
Yeah,
100%. We say our piece with it, and we keep on rolling. That's what men do. So
yes, sir.
let's go ahead and add this joint in.
Love it.
Let's see.
Shoot, while G pulling that up, anybody that's watching, man, in the comment section, how y'all doing? Put down in the comment
Yeah,
section how y'all
yeah,
day
man.
going, man.
Hit a like for the algorithm, man. Let's get this pushed out to everybody. Let them know what's the best podcast out here.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead and play this up.
Yeah, what do we know at this point?
Well, that's right. Affirmative action has been blocked both for private and public colleges. This is in the UNC case and in the Harvard case. We thought there may be a split where they might say that it's unconstitutional for public universities taking public money, but perhaps not for private. But they've said in both cases, college admissions cannot consider race as they try to diversify their student bodies. Now, this is overturning a 2003 opinion by then Justice Sotomayor, who said at that time, we hope in 25 years we won't have to look at race as a consideration in college, but that's just not the makeup of our country right now. Well, it's been 20 years, and these justices have said that the court, according to this opinion today, that they think that race should no longer be a consideration as colleges try to diversify. Going back to oral arguments, we heard then from Chief Justice Roberts saying, look, he basically saw it as being more racist in violation of Title 14 to look at race in considering who should be admitted to college. Harvard tried to argue this is just like trying to get an oboe player on our orchestra. We would look out for oboe players just like we would look at race. And
So, first topic of the day. As y'all see, the Supreme Court decision on affirmative action happened. I think that was about yesterday or maybe the day before. So, question is that Are we moving forward in America when we're taking away affirmative action? Or are we going backwards? Who up?
No.
Everybody can vote. What you gonna say?
And you know what? I'm trying to process it. I'm trying to process it.
I know I gave y'all a swing. I'm sorry. I mean, that's sometimes we gotta throw a little something in there.
No. It's all good. I'm trying to process it because I think this will help us with looking out for our own. And when I say us, like the Black community. So my initial thought is, yo, that's I think that's good. But to try to spin it like they want to be more diversified by taking away affirmative action, that sounds counterproductive to me. Like when I heard what they was talking about, that sounds really counterproductive. That y'all say y'all want to be more diversified, so let's take away affirmative action. So if you take away affirmative action, you saying you're going to bring more different cultures into some of these colleges. I just don't see it. They trying to beat around the bush. They trying to do what's best for them and for their bottom line and things like that. But I think this is a great opportunity for us to kind of like, all right, let's start pushing things into like HBCUs and things like that as well. So that's what my initial thought is when I hear it, but I got to process it and sit with it a little bit more.
Okay. What you think about it, Mr. Pratt? What you think?
I smell a setup, but I want somebody to explain more to me affirmative action. Because
All right, so
in 2003, I won't pay no attention. I still ain't paying no attention to it now.
2003, man, we was chilling. We was outside, man. We was on bikes. I don't know about y'all, but I was probably on my bike at 2003. I don't know what they were doing.
No, so I believe in a nutshell, and people in the comment section, y'all can chime in as well too. Basically, affirmative action is saying that people have a certain amount of quota of certain races that they're supposed to have to show that they're not being prejudiced in their hiring practices or in their enrollment practices. So with the affirmative action is saying that, hey, these schools, like, you got to have at least 100 Black students. And so what will happen is that I think that's kind of like where that token Black come from. Some of these companies or companies or schools, they got to have a certain amount of people. So they might even take people that's below their standards, but they're of a different race, and because they just got a quota to meet. And so that's why I would say in the last 10 years, affirmative action probably really been under question and under scrutiny because people are saying that, people are getting unequal treatment. Certain people don't have to meet the same standards as other people because these companies or these schools are just trying to meet a certain quota. That's what my understanding is.
Man, I gotta clap. That was actually really put together, man. Mr. Paul, that's your name. That was good.
Try to do a little bit, man.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
What you think about it? You want to ponder on a little bit, Mr. Pratt, while Mr. West say a little something?
Yeah.
All right. What you think about it, Mr. West?
So I have two mixed emotions about what it is. I think, like what Paul was saying, I feel like it's a realization of what they really feel. I mean, affirmative action was a result of trying to quiet down the noise. You feel what I'm saying? So now we're at a point where, well, I'll take it back a little bit. So 2020, 2021, after the George Floyd situation, all of that police brutality, diversity and inclusion was a big thing for 2 years straight. And now we're in 2023 and we're talking about getting undiversified in language or semantics. You feel what I'm saying? So I would say we had affirmative action. We've had these programs, we've had these initiatives, but has it really been tangible? Has it really been happening? Probably not. We're talking about what's on paper and what's really happening in the corporate America. That's two different things. You know what I mean? So I feel like from a political side, this does help us. It should wake us up even more to say, okay, we can't keep waiting on somebody to do something for us. How long has it been? And we haven't got reparations. We haven't gotten a lot of things that's based on race. But now when something is taken away that could include participation for race or gender or whatever it may be, we can't get emotionally tied to that because we know what this system is and we know what the agenda is. We just don't want to get caught up in what it says on paper. We have to deal with reality.
There we
Mhm.
go. There we go.
That was well
That was
put
good.
too, man. Yeah.
That was a good perspective. That was yeah. That was a good perspective. I didn't think of it that way. That's why we got you on here, boss man. See, that's what I'm talking about, baby. So the new guys, unfiltered brothers. Now I need y'all to be unfiltered, man. No, don't be politically correct on here, man. I need y'all to live up to y'all word.
Hey, man, you ain't saying nothing but a word.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
First and foremost, we haven't actually introduced the guys to the podcast. Welcome on to the podcast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
We did.
Derek and Joe of the Unfiltered Podcast. Links will be in description, so follow them. If you like our content, you'll like theirs. So shout out to you fellas. Thank you all for being here.
but yeah, appreciate it. But affirmative action, like I don't know if you guys have been following like their story, but like it was, I believe from what I understand, it was like an Asian American girl
Mm,
that had like basically contested that she didn't get enrolled, and like she brought like this whole argument about affirmative action up, and it's just like one of those double-edged swords that was kind of created
Mm-hmm.
on a whim. You coming out of post civil, I have to constantly remind myself and others, we not even like 100 years into like civil rights and everything like that. So you
Mhm.
got this movement that's coming, and black people, we're saying, hey, we're not getting hired for some of these jobs, even though we're qualified to work these jobs. So that's how affirmative action, of course, came about. But now you're talking about the inclusion of like colleges and everything like that. And you made a good point about bringing up the quota. And that's essentially what it is, like saying like,
Mhm.
hey, we are inclusive because we got X amount of minorities in our place where, Harvard especially is a predominantly
hmm
white, university.
Institution.
So just like this, I feel like this is going to be something that is going to take time to make a decision, like what's going to see the effects on, because I love the point of us putting energy into, HBCUs,
Yeah.
so I went to Old Dominion University, but like right
Oh,
down
do
the
you?
street was NSU.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's always kind of like an underlying beef between PWIs and HBCUs. And hey, bro, I'll be like, I tell everybody, if you went to college and you got a degree, hey, more respect to you. I love it. But
Facts.
I do want to see like more input into HBCUs. I feel like they, when it comes to when you compare them to PWIs, you can see it in the numbers. You can see the funding. You can see the staff. You can see what they need versus what the other got.
Mhm.
And I think it's sometimes we as I don't know how to say this, and I know I'm unfiltered, but I got to make sure my thoughts make sense. Sometimes I feel like we get so caught up on trying to get to where we need to be, and we don't really focus on things like, like I said, like I went to a PWI. That's just because I wanted to go. But somebody would have went to Harvard because they're like, all right, this is a prestigious school. It has
Right.
the ranking. It has
hmm
what I need to propel myself. But then you get to the top and you forget about, the black schools and stuff like that. Like, and especially like I've seen it firsthand. Like people say like, hey, I want to go, like, people that went to Harvard. Well, I want to go to an HBCU, or I don't want to go to a private school. I want to go to a public school. And they're like, oh, no, you need to be here. You need to be there. And I think it's
Mhm.
always this conversation of status, always
Mm,
conversation of status and stuff. And like what a name, how much weight a name holds. And,
mm.
when you're talking about Harvard, you're talking about an Ivy League school that, you tell someone, if I told y'all I went to Harvard, y'all gonna be like, oh, that man, he different.
Automatic.
But
He's smart.
it's at the end of the day, yeah.
Mhm.
But it's like I'll be like, at the end of the day, man, it's just like if you can get the education, it shouldn't be status attached to it like that. If
Mm-hmm.
you can get the education here, it shouldn't be no different than me getting it over there. So I'm hoping that affirmative like this I hope that this is a way that we could start putting more focus on bettering schools, bettering ourselves and everything like that, as far as like, focus on HBCUs. But like I said, it's gonna be something that time could tell because I ain't gonna lie. I feel like this was just one of those things that just happened because Harvard got put in the bond and they had to make a decision. Because I think it was Harvard and one other school, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, UNC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, y'all just got put in the bond and y'all used your money and your resources, and now this is your way of getting out of it. But what's about to come from it? Because in a couple of years, if the minority rate drops, then that kind of means, that kind of means like, y'all didn't hold up y'all in the bargain. Y'all are not as inclusive as you said. And so it's just one of those things that time gonna have to tell.
Yeah, I don't have no long answer like that.
He
Hold on, he said he's not gonna answer like that.
don't have a long answer like that.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said I don't got no long answer like that. But like Dress was saying, it's 2023. When you talk about affirmative action, I don't really pay attention to it because I feel like I'm qualified for everything I'm involved in.
I like
so that. if so with this decision, I kind of got 50. I hope it's a good thing, but I feel like the only way it'll work if you're gonna take away when you fill out these applications, you're gonna take away what race you is if you are talking about diversity and everything like that. Because I feel like the only reason you put your race on these applications is because you want to see the background of these individuals and everything like that. But similar to what y'all was saying, I think it'll be a good thing for us as a community. Now we like y'all. I didn't go to a HBCU either. I went to a PWI, but I always I'm going to show my support to the HBCUs always. And I feel like with this decision, it'll put us in a better place where we can now actually promote going to these historical Black colleges, whether they're private or public, actually educate our community on the things that we need to educate them on. But yeah, like I said, I don't really have a long answer. I would definitely like to dive more into this decision and see all the angles where it is beneficial or whether it's not beneficial. But yeah, when it comes to affirmative action, I think, I don't really pay attention to it because I feel like you should be qualified to go to whatever college you go to. That mean you qualified for it. But I understand that some people may feel some type of way knowing that they only got into that school just because of their race. I would feel some type of way about that as well. So I would say like the only way this decision will work if you take away, when you look at those applications, you take away what race you are. I don't need to check that off for nobody because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm here because I'm qualified.
Yeah.
I like that. And
Trey.
yeah.
Hey Trey, can I interject? Because shout out to April. She been in the comments section and she said she wanted me to touch on the finances. And I just thought of a financial benefit based off this affirmative action. If it go adversely for us, getting into the PWIs, the benefit of it is it will filter, like we talking about, filtering more people to the HBCUs, which will lead to more money for the HBCUs, which should in turn, if the people at the top are doing the right things and they really care about the schools, it should lead to, better facilities, better courses and things like that. I look at Virginia State, right down the street in Petersburg, man. I've seen a big influx going into Virginia State, and I've seen how that campus is just blown up. Because I got the opportunity to almost accept a partial baseball scholarship there. So I used to tour there and stuff all the time. And when I used to go there, I don't know about this place. This back in like 08, you know what I'm saying? Now it looks totally different now. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to April for putting that in the comment section. I just wanted to touch on that, like one key financial aspect. More people going to HBCUs, which will in return mean more money for HBCUs and really be able to expand and really put HBCUs on the map even more. So I just wanted to say that real quick before you went, Troy.
I agree with all of the above in the comments that we get. Shout out to all of you in the comments. Thank you for being here as well.
We
But
appreciate you all.
my emphasis is I'm not really a college kid. I went to college, but I didn't go to anything prestigious. I think I went to Southern University when they first opened up around Short Pump. Um, accrued some debt and was like, yeah, F this. So college to me doesn't qualify people anyway. Personally, the piece of paper, that degree doesn't mean everything to me. So when I think about this, my initial thought goes to the top people because I learned that most HBCUs are not even black owned. So
Mhm.
I put more emphasis on the people at the top. And I was just having this conversation earlier with someone else about buying black and how and why I'm so supportive of my people. Y'all would say and agree that I'm more supportive than a lot of people, especially when it comes to like buying black. And one of the things that I said is it doesn't help when we buy black if the ones who got bought from being black doesn't buy black as well. So having more go to the HBCUs, having more funding and stuff, I want that. I want that inclusion. I want to drive that traffic, but I needed the funding to actually go to where it's needed. I need this to whoever's in control of where these funds go. It's the same emphasis like with taxes. We're gonna get raw. The same emphasis like with taxes. Why in 2023 I don't have a decision on where my money is going with taxes, but yet you tell a certain area that they're not paying taxes, even though it's really not optional.
Yeah.
But you saying this area doesn't pay taxes? How? Like how? And then their roads messed up. Their schools they don't get the resources and all that stuff. So it's the same thing when it comes to this topic in my mind. Not to go on a tangent, but that's where I initially went to was like all of this, they're making decisions, affirmative action, and all that stuff. That's just what they're showing. But in those rooms, we're not still in those rooms. I ain't see us. You know what I'm saying? It might have been one black person on that panel. I didn't see us in that video when they're talking about this affirmative action and what it's going to do and inclusion and statistics and all this stuff. That's why none of that stuff matters to me because it's still within a system that wasn't designed for our success.
Super
Mhm.
facts.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Hey, look, hey, Trey hit that right on the head. I want to shout out Taz in the comment section too. She
Yeah.
brought up something about leveling the playing field, and I do
Mm.
agree with that. I'm just interested to see if they really want to level the playing field. Just take away race from the application in general. Then,
Like a brother saying.
now, I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but then, like we say, it's still redlining. So they'll look
Yeah.
at which your zip code and stuff like that, and then base it around. You know what I'm saying? They'll find their
Yeah.
ways. They'll
Right.
find their ways to hand select who they want to hand select. So it's just the game. You know what I'm saying? It's the game,
Right.
and if you want to be a part of that game, you got to try to figure out how to play it to get the results that you want to get from it. So shout out to Toss for that comment as well too.
And Paul, you bring up a big point when we talk about. I mean, you're talking about the system. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if you're waiting on the system to do something for you, where the system ain't never did nothing for you to begin with, you're gonna be waiting until you're blue in the face. You feel what I'm saying? So I just would love for this to be another catalyst for Black people to do for Black people. So that we don't keep waiting on. And I mean, I didn't do college as well. I did it one semester at Strayer University. From there, I've been experienced from there. You feel what I'm saying? But I can't be the one to say that education isn't important because education is important, but the institutions in itself, I don't know if we need more institutions. I think we actually need a plan of action and then we need to execute on it because we talk a lot and we emotional about things, but we don't activate anything. So I just feel like we can't be waiting on, this is another 10, 15 year process that we're gonna have to wait to see how it affects us. Do we have 10, 15 years to wait on it is my big issue.
Right.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
true.
Hey, G, what's your thoughts, G? What's your thoughts, man? How you feel about it?
I could be short and sweet. We've been going on with it. Everybody has some good points. I think that I think it's a wonderful thing. I was happy when I saw it, knowing that at least if it goes all the way through, that my kids and hopefully my son could be able to get it out the mud the way as he should. But I'm thinking further than just colleges, and all the points y'all said was right on college. I'm not down in the college part, college, but it goes further as far as when it comes to applications on jobs, housing, all types of things. I think it's gonna go further on, and I'm a big component of who's better. I don't look at skin tone when it comes to certain things. If you work out pretty good, I don't care if you black, white, yellow, Asian, whatever. I want to work out with you. I'm not gonna pick you because you black or whatever, or if I have a business when I need to build a certain type of business. I don't want it to be that I have to be able to just hire just black people or Indian or minorities or anything. Uh, I don't think it should be that way. I want to be able to look at the paper and see that you're qualified, and I think it will be able to make us work harder. Not saying that certain black people may rely on the affirmative action. There are probably some people. There's always going to be some people that may rely on it, but then it's going to be that we know that we have to work just as hard as everybody else. And I think it's going to make us better. I just think so. I think it's a complete positive. I mean, some people may not see it now, of course, but I think it'll be a complete positive. I think everybody's created equal under God's eyes. Um, and I think we all should be able to, whoever best man wins. It won't the best white man wins. I don't think it needs to be the best black man. I think whoever the best man wins. So I agree with all y'all on them tips. I think it's a good move. I think so.
Got you. That's
Yeah.
what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, do anybody else got anything they want to chime in with? Because I know we got a couple of other topics we want to get through and everything as well. But anybody else who got something they want to end us off with before we get into the next topic?
I got something to say all the time, but
okay, go ahead.
If we take race off of application, then we will expedite classism being the new racism, because right now classism allows so-called, what we like to say, black people to be racist. You feel what I'm saying? Because if I make a certain amount of money, I'm gonna look at other black people different. If I drive a certain car, if I wear Jordans and I got this certain fashion sense, then I think that people that don't wear these so-called name brands, then they're lesser than me. So I think if we eliminate, or if we continue to focus on race, or allow race not to be something that we don't continue to fight to understand that we exist. We know we exist, but if we don't stand up for ourselves, we will fall into the classism, which is the next thing, where you're just another number. You don't fall in the right bucket, you're going to be excluded from going to this school. If you don't make enough money, if your parents ain't put enough a contribution to that institution, you won't be qualified. So it don't care if you're black or white, you don't have enough status, like we talked about before. Harvard is a prestigious status symbol. It doesn't mean that what they're giving you is going to help you, but if you're networking, you can come from Jay Sargent, network with the right person, and get to the same place. But there's an illusion that we think that if we get away from racism, then we're gonna be all good. Once we get away from racism, we go straight into classism.
I love it. I think I honestly, yeah, I don't like racism, but I like classism. I'm classist. I'm classism. I am. I'm 100%. I'm classism. If that was one and that was a box, I could put it somewhere on the application, on my driver's license, on my voter's card. I'm classism. Yes, I am. 100%.
Come on, bro.
I'm keeping it real, man. I am. I wear it proud. I may have a company, have a T-shirt to say it.
My brother still lost. God damn.
Hey, straight up.
You gotta respect the honesty.
Hey, that's G, yo. That's definitely G, man. But look, hey G, we go ahead and wrap up, because I feel like that conversation about to get extended a little bit longer.
Yeah, we get going to that. And I thanks for everybody in the comments, man. We got a lot of comments. I'm trying to put them up, but if yours don't come up, that means that I ain't trying to be favoritism. I'm just saying there's a lot of them. We up to about 20 comments, man. I appreciate everybody, man.
Right, you going by the class.
Yeah, anybody that come in that comes in, at least go ahead and hit a like for us. Let us know that you appreciate us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I got you. All right, and what we got for the next topic? What we got for the next topic?
Next one, we just gonna roll with two. We gonna roll it two because I figured the next one is gonna take us a good amount of time. So y'all go ahead and grab some water if y'all need to, because I got another video by what some people would say is a black queen.
No, the fuck they won't. No, the fuck they don't start this shit.
I'm just
Don't
saying,
start
man.
this shit.
I'm saying it's a
Black.
black queen, man.
She don't even identify as black. Stop it.
Oh dang,
Stop it. Stop
dang!
it.
Starting
I want the
already.
black. We gotta have a black queen. We gotta have a black queen on here.
Gotta identify
So
as black to be a black
grab
anything.
y'all grab some water whenever
Classism.
y'all need to. I'm gonna load it up real quick.
Yo, man.
He said, "Don't start that shit."
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, but that YYG loading everything up, man. That's a good topic, man, because it's a lot of different ways and different avenues that affirmative action can be looked at. Because I know we got a lot of people in the comment section talking about like the legacies and was it college funding and all of that stuff that's all directly affected by the whole affirmative action. All right, Todd. Thank you for joining, Todd. You gotta go back to work. Go get that money.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's a lot of different ways and avenues to really explore that. But like everybody said, I think it's gonna take some time to see the after effects. But I think it could be some good stuff, man, for real. That come from it if we view it that way. If we have that perspective.
I don't want to be the contrarian, but what has the Supreme Court passed that we actually benefit from right now, other than going to people's schools that we don't own?
Okay.
Hey, look, I'll be honest. I'm not a big government fan.
Me
Hey,
there is a class. It's the government class I don't like.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you right now, bro. I went to school for politics, and I still don't fight. Look, hey, my last year of college, bro, I was like, I remember, I was like, I can't fuck with these niggas. They different.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh man! All right, hey, I think G got the video ready. All right, go ahead, G.
All right, y'all can see now. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and play on this jump, and I think it should be good.
Why are we the most murderous group in America by a long shot? Why are we killing ourselves? Literally, this actually happened. The data reveals that Black Americans are responsible for the predominance of murder in all of the 65 most deadly cities except one. I went through the list this morning, right? And it has this list. It's broken up. We're going to put it up for you. And it tells you what the deadly U.S. city is. It tells you how many Black homicide offenders there were and how many white homicide offenders there were for the year of 2021 when we got Juneteenth. And I just went ahead and highlighted the ones where the white and Black populations is either split or it's majority white. Because if it's a majority Black city, then you can argue, oh, okay, well, there's more Black people in the city, so that's why we are more murderous. No. I went ahead and highlighted for you where the white population is more predominant, and yet we are still the most murderous, or when the population is split evenly. First up, the most murderous city, the deadliest U.S. city, is St. Louis, Missouri. That is a predominantly white population, 46.3% white, 44% Black. 90 Black homicide offenders versus just 12 white homicide offenders. Dayton, Ohio, predominantly white, 23 Black homicide offenders versus 7 white homicide offenders. Richmond, Virginia, about an even split there, 45 to 44%. 54 Black homicide offenders to just four white homicide offenders. North Charleston, South Carolina, that is 43% Black population to a almost even 41.8% white population. Not an even split amongst the homicide offenders. Black homicide offenders, 28 to just 11 white homicide offenders. Columbia, South Carolina, majority white, 50% white to 40% black. Doesn't matter because the black homicide offenders are 21 versus 0 white homicide offenders. Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this is 48% black versus 41% white population. In Atlanta, Georgia, 101 black homicide offenders versus just 1 white homicide offender. Indianapolis, Indiana, majority white, 75 black homicide offenders versus 24 white homicide offenders. Little Rock, Arkansas, majority white, 46 black homicide offenders versus 3 white homicide offenders. Let me know if this is upsetting you, Juneteenth people that like to celebrate and pretend that we don't have real issues that we need to face and that this wasn't a consolation prize, because I'm not done yet. And I'm just going to go over the first page here. There's a whole second one. Basically tells us the exact same story. Chicago, Illinois. I'm shocked to learn that is actually a majority white population by a lot, 45% white versus 29% black. Despite this, the disparity, 152 black homicide offenders versus 26 white homicide offenders. Same in Chattanooga, Tennessee, majority white, 15 black homicide offenders to just 2 white homicide offenders. Buffalo, New York, majority white, 12 black homicide offenders versus 5 white homicide offenders. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, dead even split, 39% to 39%, not an even split amongst homicide offenders. 139 black homicide offenders versus just 11 white homicide offenders. Lastly, we'll do Dallas, Texas, 53% white, overwhelming majority versus just 24% black population. Despite that, in Dallas, Texas, there are 180 black homicide offenders in the year 2021 versus just 62 white homicide offenders in Dallas, Texas. So what does that story tell you? Now, in case that didn't seem bad enough to you, what's amazing is that these are FBI numbers, and for no reason at all, the FBI actually combines Hispanic and white numbers together. So those white numbers, which pale in comparison to black numbers, also includes Hispanic men, just so they can make it look like black men aren't as murderous as they actually are. That's the truth. Really? As I said, we are the most murderous group in America, and it is not getting better. The crime rates are going up astronomically. We're also, as a matter of fact, the most illiterate group in America by a long shot. This is according to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, which is a sector of the United States Department of Education. Get ready. 84% of black students lack proficiency in mathematics, and 85% of black students lack proficiency in reading skills. 85%. Does that not just shock you? Does that not absolutely shock you? It is incredible. And yet they scream progress because they can twerk on top of a Pizza Hut on Juneteenth. How is that for freedom?
Amazing.
So it's true, you guys. You've said this 1,000 times. I get it. I'm not invited to the cookout on Juneteenth. I guess I'm just going to have to stay alive. That's my other option. I don't want to go to your stupid cookout. I don't want to do anything. I want nothing to do with black culture today. I don't know how many times I can say that. There's nothing good about it. It's completely ghetto. It's not the black culture I grew up watching. It ain't the Winslows. It's not Family Matters. It's not the Jack.
We ready? Are we ready? First and foremost, seriously, this the type of shit you paying attention to?
The brothers, as you see, this is our fourth time. This is like our fourth time. This is our fourth one. We broke down. Basically, we just break down. It's like an ongoing conversation with us, because it's like it's never stopped. Honestly, this is like the fourth one. So we just pick different ones, like different sectors. As y'all see, I ain't gonna keep talking, but the overall thing is: do you think that is black culture trash?
First and foremost, this is the only thing I'm gonna start off with. What does any of those numbers have to do with Juneteenth? That's the first and foremost. What does any of that has to do with Juneteenth? Juneteenth is the actual day of liberation,
Oh,
not just for our people,
oh,
but for freedom in America. So we could abolish July
the
4th.
beginning of it, when I watched, it was the she was showing videos of what happened on Juneteenth. That's why she
Come
said
on, man.
at one point, that's why she said, she talked about the people twerking on top of a Pizza Hut. There was a video that a lot of black people, they shut down a block on Juneteenth and had a party, and they got upstairs on top of the Pizza Hut and they were twerking. So that's
Oh,
why she said on Juneteenth. That's why I was
oh.
going to it. Might be I didn't cut it out. My boss. Might be boss.
No, it's okay. That still does not discredit the fact that Juneteenth was the last day that we were enslaved. So the actual freedom of this nation is for Juneteenth. July 4th was for them, not for all. So none of that still had anything to do with Juneteenth. That's the first thing that's I don't, now see here's the thing. I love my people. I love my people. So even somebody who's lost an identity, as your sis Candice, as Ty says, and still love her. Poor baby, she needs so much guidance. Uh, probably need anyway.
No, don't say it, Trey. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Next up.
I, I looked at, I got a question, man. With these stats, man. First off, they make us seem like I was surprised the stats was that low. To be honest, I was surprised the stats was that low, and I say that because they make us seem like just every day we out here killing somebody and this and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
What I would say, what I do agree with at the end, the programming that we get shown. She said, like, yo, like this is not Family Matters. This is not, a lot of the shows that used to display the black families and the more positive images. I agree with her on that part that a lot of that stuff is not getting shown anymore. And we done talked about that a bunch about how that play into the psyche and everything like that as well. But I'm just interested. I probably could pull some numbers and show in certain areas that white people's killing more white people than black people, and present those same stats to counteract that argument too. And I'm thinking about doing it, to be honest. Like I'm really thinking about. I just don't got the time to sit here and be trying to pull up that stuff. But you can flip stats or numbers to present whatever argument that you want to present. So, like I said, I don't want to get too deep in it because I want our guests to speak. Because we had talked about this, I don't know how many times. You know what I'm saying? But I want the guests to go ahead and speak because I'm about to get rolling. But go ahead, whichever one y'all want to start first.
Yeah, I wanted to speak on one thing. Like I respect the numbers, but like you were saying, it doesn't really show everything, like what goes all into those numbers. And then she touched on, I remember I watched y'all last Black Culture episode, and I know G was he was big on saying it's the choices that we make. When you talk about when she threw out the illiterate stats and everything like that, where we come from, Prince Edward, I'm not sure if y'all really know all the history of Prince Edward, but we was back in 59, they closed our schools for 5 years straight. We was a part of the board of education, Brown versus Board of Education. We was a part of that case. So a lot of our aunties, a lot of our uncles, they stopped their education like 7th, 8th grade. A lot of them didn't even go back to school. So that trickled down to us today, and I understand like us as individuals, we are different from that previous generation because we made the choice of going to college, getting our degrees and everything like that. But you still got to take that into a factor. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of our moms, a lot of our aunties and uncles, they didn't get the same education that we had, so it was hard for them to teach us growing up. It was hard for them to give us the real jewels that we need to be successful in this world. So a lot of when I look at those numbers, you know, it's cool. It's cool to look into, you know, but like you're saying, like I could pull up a few hundred cities that probably had the same stats for another race. Not even for just white people. You could probably find the same thing for probably Asians across the country, you know, across the water or some such shit like that. But when you look at those stats, you gotta really look into all the factors that go into those numbers. And I feel like, you know, she don't really. Candice Owens is special. She's
That's
special.
a good way to put it.
But you know, she's very special. But you really gotta, like I said, you really gotta look into all the factors that go into those numbers, and they don't really talk about those factors like they supposed to.
So yeah, I'm a piggyback off that. 100%. That's exactly the point that I was gonna make. Going back, yeah, like so back in our hometown, they shut the schools down. What they did was they shut the public schools down because they didn't want to integrate, and then they opened a private school where, you know, if you could afford to pay and everything like that, you can go to the private school. So my grandmother, for instance, she stopped getting educated, and then boom, you know, she went to go work in that tobacco field. She ended up graduating community college in her like late adult years, and just said that she just wanted to have like the education, and because, you know, education is power. She was like, she said I remember her telling me that she couldn't get her driver's license because she couldn't read like a stop sign. So she started off like having someone teach her how to like read stop signs, or let's read. First was just how to read, and then she put herself to school and everything like that. But I wanted to, like, those numbers, you know, when you talk about those numbers, you really got to look into the factors of why those numbers are as high as they are.
Thank you. For
You know,
one.
you sat there earlier, redlining got brought up. Like, I don't think people really understand how much discrimination, bro. It's like how much policy was in place to keep us where we were.
Come on.
I just found out like the other day off Twitter, who it was that stopped reparations, why we never got 40 acres and a mule after slavery and all that stuff. And, you know, it's systematic oppression is something that we say a lot, but people don't really know how deep it goes.
Thank you.
Like I said, like my grandmother didn't know how to read. She did not make the choice to educate herself and to get education. There probably would have been a slim choice of me going to college. I was a first generation college student. Well, no, I did it back. I was a second generation 4-year college student. Everybody like in my family had like a trade or, you know, some form of education, but no knowledge on how to navigate financial aid, just how to utilize like the resources that was there. None of that. And I will never forget. I was in Econ 201. I will never forget this. We're having a conversation about financial aid, and it's me, my homeboy, he's Yemen, and it's a white boy.
Yeah.
And me and my homeboy, we're just talking about financial aid and how like we're barely getting anything back, and just how we just waiting for that little bit of a refund check. And I'll never forget, dude looked at me and was like, "What's financial aid?" So we bust out laughing because it's like, "Oh, you joking?" Bro had no idea what it was for financial aid. Bro's dad was a lawyer, so he got the bread, sent his son to school. His son was going to become a lawyer. Like, that's something that was completely. I'm like, what do you mean? What's financial aid? That's the only reason I'm even in this class. Like, right. And I'm barely getting it. But just simple knowledge, simple knowledge on how finances work, on how to navigate the world in corporate America, or just in that scenery or that area where we don't see us at.
There you go.
And then you sit there and you bring these numbers up like you made the point of oh, like we're always killing each other, but you don't give us the resources to succeed in these areas.
Right.
Like St. Louis, Missouri, because I had looked this stat up too at one point. I didn't know how bad it was out there. I mean, I don't even think about Missouri oftentimes, but you know, you're talking about an area where like you go, and if you go further down south to like Louisiana, where like the education rates, all these factors play this part and why African Americans are in the way they are, where literally some people are in survival mode 24/7. If I'm working 2 jobs to keep the lights on because the housing market is steadily increasing, I don't have time to go sit my kids down at the kitchen table and make them do their homework. I need y'all to do what I say when I get back. Now I ain't got no food in my fridge, so now my children are out there hustling. Now there's a possibility of them getting shot. Now there's a possibility of them being introduced to this world. And you're sitting there, you're throwing them numbers, but you're not going to the city helping no one learn how to read. Like I just think it's like you real, like people throw these numbers in there and they get me fired up, and I gotta stop because I'm about to go on a tangent myself because they'll know. Like I gotta go for an hour on this show on the podcast. Don't sit there and throw numbers in my face, bro. When you're sitting there, you're not looking at the entire picture. Like why the hell was affirmative action put into place? This is what I'm talking about, bro. Like this is it. Like, you're sitting there, and you doing all this talking about stuff, but we got civil rights was less than 100 years ago. Like I'm surprised, like that we're where we are today. Like,
Speak on it, G.
Man, y'all can call her special, man. I don't like her. I swear, bro, when G put the clip up, I said, hey, I might as well start scrolling because she'll get me started.
Come on, G. Where you at, bro? I saw you making some faces.
Let Wes go. Let Wes go. Go ahead, Wes.
Okay. You know, I've been waiting on this. I had to take some notes before we even did this podcast, and then when she brought up the stats, I said, "Why she talking? Let me go ahead and look into these numbers." I look into the specific states that she highlighted. Are majority of those had historically black towns in them. Richmond, Virginia. We got Jackson Ward. She talking about Indiana. We talking about Arkansas. We talking about you selecting places that are known for what we did in the past that never gets talked about. You see what I'm saying? We're not talking about the data where the government went and attacked these places. We're not talking about the data. And when we look at, so I looked at North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Chicago. Each one of these, the average salary for black households is under 40,000. Richmond being 38,000, Ohio being 36,000, and North Carolina being 29,000. If you don't have any money, you gonna kill. That's just how it works. If you don't have resources, you have no choice but to turn against what you need for survival. So what we're talking about and what she's, which because I'm not a fan of her, but we need people like her to wake us up so that we cannot continue to believe the lie. They have data, we have data. That data is only telling one truth. Information without context is just a lie. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a half truth. If you're not telling the whole truth, you're just lying to people. You're misleading people. So we can talk about black on black crime, but we don't talk about white on white crime. And these things are all particularly put on us to get us emotionally charged, like these conversations do for us. But to go on the root of this, does black culture exist? I think black culture used to exist. Right now we live in nigger culture. So I don't subscribe to the culture that we in right now as black, because black culture, we talking about kings and queens, we talking about Egypt, we talking about inventing everything that you see. We're not talking about what we do right now. What we do right now is still white culture. It's still our masters teaching us what to do, what to eat. When you look up what is culture, what makes it up, it's the religion, it's the language, it's the behavior patterns, and majority of black people act white. So we can't say it's black culture. This is just trauma culture. This is nigger culture. This is slave culture, because we eat like we did when we were slaves. We walk and talk like we did when we were slaves. We don't do for ourselves like when we were slaves. So is this black culture or is it trauma culture? So I do agree that so-called black culture is trash, but we don't live in black culture. But this nigger culture that we live in definitely is trash.
I was with you to the end. I was with you to the end, bro. You spoke some facts, but I can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really containing the lion right now. But for those who don't know, I'm a Leo. So Take that as you will.
Hey, let's get it.
Big ol'. Yeah, I mean, but I want to hear your take, G. You started making faces and stuff. What was going on in your thoughts? What was you thinking?
I mean, I ain't much I can say. I'm a superhero. I already said my my thoughts on it, man. I just honestly I just wanted to have more guests on here and get like some more perspectives on it, just to see my hypothesis
Do
and
you agree
see
with
if
the with the? Do you agree with the video?
I don't. I mean, I'm a well. I don't want to be like that because you a man. You asked me a question. I'm gonna answer your question first before I elaborate. Now say I hold on. Do you say I agree with it or I think it's true? Which one you said?
I said, do you agree with both?
Um. Well, yeah. I mean, I do. Like I said, I just wanted a hypothesis because I figured that's how most black people think, and it's more of a I already explained it. It's more of a like a need more help, or we don't have this, or we do this because of this or because of this, and that's wrong. It brings up more of the hypothesis that it don't matter if the only time most black people agree unless it's something good in their favor. If it's anything that's negative or showing any kind of criticism, even it don't matter if you see it. It don't matter if you hear it on speakers. It don't matter if you see it on TV. It don't matter if they made statistics. It don't matter what it is. It's still going to be some kind of excuse or where something is wrong. It don't matter who's going to say it. So for me, even to say it, and I'm not really anybody's dad or any big idol or rapper or anything like that, because most black people just listen to celebrities and rappers. It don't point to me going on and saying anything. I just say I just got away from the culture. And if black people want to be in that same spot of begging and whining, saying they need something and more handouts, or what happened in slavery, and they want to stay in that mindset, I can't change it. Let them just stay where they are. I mean, ain't nothing I can really say. I just did this because we're still continuing the black culture. So there's no point in me changing another man's mind or speaking on it. People already seen the other episodes, man. I let people be where they are. It's like talking to a brick wall. So
So the reason why we started this podcast is for black men to speak. Can't have community without communication. So why stop speaking? And
oh no, I'm
then,
not. I'm not speaking. I already said what I had to say. I just don't need a paragraph with it. It's like talking with somebody, and I said no. I don't need it's not a multiple question and answer. It's just a straight true or false, and I just said it. There's no need for like an explanation on it.
so where did you see the truth in this video?
Um, where I see the truth,
Hmm.
I see it all the time in the news. I see it around my neighborhoods when I was growing up. I mean, I see it in rap videos. I see it in I see it a lot. I see it everywhere. But it don't matter how many times like some people can see it, or they can see it on news. They can see it right in their face. Like I said, my girlfriend seen it. It was same way shooting around there. Somebody most likely in their family got shot or killed by somebody. It keeps on happening for some reason. Black people think it's not happening for some reason, and they just be like, "No, it's not us. It's because we broke. It's because of this." So it's like we see it, but there's no. Even if I say it, it ain't gonna really matter. Black people gonna stay in the same spot. That's why I said they gonna stay in the same spot. They ain't gonna change. Black people ain't gonna change unless they change themselves. And right now they do no wrong. It's always somebody else's fault.
Hey, yo, I want to say, go ahead, bro, go ahead.
Me?
Now, the Unfiltered Brothers. I
Oh,
saw
okay.
people that.
I got it. I just want to ask a question. Because I'm not gonna say I disagree with you, because I definitely agree. And what Wes was saying earlier about nigga culture, that is like a good way of putting it. You know, that's a good way of making it. Like I would put it.
Hmm.
But all right, let's backtrack. Right, let's backtrack. To piggyback something off Wes said about black culture being, where we came from, and then kind of going into what G was saying. If everything about you right now, like everything, single thing about you, was beat, taken from you, stole from you, to the point where now in order for you to survive, you have to adopt to the identity of the individual that's abusing you. And then what they tell you is, all right, you good, go do what you got to do, you're free. But then they set up systematic things, and like they keep putting a roadblock in your way every time you try to get free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making excuses for Black people. Like I said, like it goes back down to a choice. Like my grandmother could have chose to not go get educated. She could have chose to stay where she was, and that was full and within her right as an adult. But it also takes a great person and a great mindset to invoke change. Because I've had this same conversation with her, and she was like, "I just don't see why we are where we are." And I'm like, "Well, first of all, not everybody thinks on the wavelength that we as like. I mean, I'm just impressed that we are able to have this conversation as fluently as we are. Because like people don't have these conversations.
Yeah.
But they got to start somewhere. But people don't think like us.
Right.
And it goes back to that whole survival of the fittest thing. Like you kind of got to look at the environment in which a person's in and you got to understand. I work for social services and I investigate fraud. So it'll be people that come before me that say, yeah, I stole food stamps. I sold food stamps because I needed to provide for my family. I still got to take them people to court just as I would take anybody else to court if I found enough proof that they committed fraud. What I'm saying, though, is like when you really talking to these people and when you really listen to them, bro, it's scary how their minds are working. Yes. It's not all turning up there. They really like they really thinking on this one plane, like this one level. And it's like, and not just Black, white too,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I've been noticing, I'm like, man, like, y'all really think y'all need these food stamps. Like this one girl, I don't tell too much business, but like, she was making good money. And I was like, why you just ain't close your case? You got the job. Yeah. Well, she told me straight up, she said, well, what am I supposed to use to feed my family? Bro, mind you, she was white. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, you don't need the government to feed your family. You're making more money than me. And I'm about to take you to court. I feel like it's a gap. It's like, I don't know how to really make it make sense, but it's like a barrier there. That it just, for some people it clicks and some people it don't. And I feel like going back to that nigger culture conversation, if we in the hood and I gotta survive, he gotta survive, I don't got time to think about my mindset switching. I gotta sit here and I gotta do what I gotta do to survive, because even if boys in the hood, the one dude that was gonna make it out the hood died. That's crushing right there. And I mean, like it goes back to, like you said, like y'all mentioned, playing on the psyche, playing on the mental. People live every day with stress and PTSD and just this constant pressure. And I ain't just talking about people in the hood. I'm talking about these rich folks too. That's how they sit back. People commit suicide. Like suicide and mental health is real. Like,
come on, bro.
I'm a mental advocate myself. I'm in therapy right now. Like,
come on, bro.
You only got one mind. And my mama used to always say the mind is the devil's playground. And if you don't get that joint straight and do what you got to do to get through your day, then I'm just thankful that I had friends and family to put me straight, to like, if I veered off, go this way. Because I know I wouldn't have did it by myself. But then there are a lot of people that don't have the blessings that I have, and I have to acknowledge that. I think the acceptance of blessings in our personal life will help us open our hearts and humble ourselves to seeing how people truly live. And that's just me coming from someone that works at social services and sees this every day. Like,
not only that,
go ahead, bro. I'm done.
Not only that, but you good, bro. And I love all of your perspectives. Not only that, not to go too crazy, but I do disagree with the mentality that it's excuses and it's victim mentality and all of it's weak-minded. I disagree with all of those terms that have been used here, G, because we can't dismiss the factors in our people. Secondly, you know, yeah, we have control, yeah, we have the power, but you have to tap into that power. And that's why representation matters. And a lot of people, going back to what Wes first came on here and spoke about, if you don't value, like, say for instance, somebody will see this and be like, my own people don't understand me. My own people, I can't reach out, I can't talk to you. The way the communication has been is like, if I see you and you're in a good position, I don't feel like I can come ask you, how did you did it? Would you assist me? Because the communication is like, I'm weak because I'm not where you are. So let me just focus on me. It boosts singularity, and we're stronger in numbers. So I disagree with that wording. And that second, another thing I'm gonna point out is, I asked, where did you get this from? Stats, news, radio, music, entertainment, all promotion. This is what we was talking about when it comes to promotion. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm literally every day in the hood. Hours, like majority of my day is spent in the hood, right? Yeah, I have not had no threats. I have not been in danger. I have not been afraid. And it's not just because of who I am. It's because I'm not judging these people who are my people. I love my people. I talk to my people, and the way I talk to them is the way I talk to you all. It's the way I talk to somebody who is in a higher class. We was on the power call this morning. Shout out to Brother West, connecting everybody on the power call. If you want to tap into that, be in contact with him. But we was on the power call with Brother Ben X, and he played Minister Farrakhan word about the source of power. And one of the things that stood out from him was what he said was, when he walked into palaces and kingdoms, he talking to them, what's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? The same way that if I was to walk in the hood, I'm talking to them like, what's up, brother? Nobody's above the other. But I know, and I see my people. I see my people because they're in an environment, because they're in an address, because they're in a zip code, because they're in the hood, because they're in impoverished areas. They get separated by not only the opposition, but us who are not in there as well. We see somebody from the hood and it's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to them. They might twerk on the table if you invite them. Oh, they might smoke a cigarette outside like we don't got
Ah, you
everybody
okay?
else doing the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we I don't see coming together with that. I have not heard any solution from this Candice bitch. I haven't heard nothing. I haven't heard anything. And then she the same one who like, oh, black people emotional and they're crying racism. But then she cried racism when a designer just, you know what I'm saying? She cried racism when a designer decided not to work with her and her white husband because they're horrible people. You know what I'm saying? Still love her, but she lost. Then she gonna go on and cry racism. It's because of racism. That's racism. Like, who are these people that y'all listening to? It's contradictory. And if you are not actively speaking to people, providing solutions, trying to do better, being a leader and a role model and an image amongst the people, then your opinion is not valid to me. Anybody who has anything to say about all of that, until you actually go there, talk to somebody, put something in place, contribute somehow, then it doesn't matter to me, because you are only going on the falsehoods of a one-sided argument.
Mhm.
So for a lot of people, you really just lost. So when we can throw away the status, when we can throw away and just look at, this is my brother, this is my sister. You know what I'm saying? If you We shouldn't be pointing the finger when we should be lending a hand. You know what I'm saying? And nothing is done on earth completely by yourself.
Mm, mm,
Nothing is done on earth completely by yourself. So I got it out the mud. No, you didn't. I did it by my own. I made my own way. No, you didn't. Somebody gave you an opportunity. Yeah, you was prepared for it. Yeah, you jumped at it and you made traction within it. But somebody gave you the opportunity. Somebody opened the door, regardless of what. You know what I'm saying? The clothes you got on, did you pick the cotton? Did you fashion it? Did you twill and needle and make your own pants? No. Somebody else had to provide that. The money that you're using, somebody else printed that. The car that you're driving, somebody else. Come on, man. We're connected. So this single ideology is destroying not only black, but all humans, but we focusing on black. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the culture, it's more so when I think of culture, I just think about innate nature. And our nature is love. But our strength is resiliency. But we're going to be resilient to the forces in front of us. So just because a lot of us don't have to deal with the same problems, we looking at them like that's not even a problem. Yes, it is. It's not a problem for some of us, but for a lot of us, that is a problem. And then when we speak about it, we're too emotional. When we quiet about it, we're stupid. We're illiterate. We don't know nothing. It's like, what the fuck? So am I strong? Am I weak? Can I talk to you? Do I be quiet? Should I cry? Don't do nothing?
mm-hmm,
Why we not making progress? We're just like, it's like, where are we?
mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do, bro? So yeah, we can keep having a conversation, and I love all my fellas, I love all my people, and we're gonna continue having this conversation for it to resonate with the people, but for it to actually start making progress, we got to start talking solution. We got to start like more inclusion
Mm-hmm.
because I can't exclude you because you live in Jackson Ward. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't. That's the exact shit we talking about with affirmative action. Let's take that white mentality up out of it, man. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Let's learn a little bit more.
Man, you bring up if I don't mind if I can add in that, you bring up a valid point too, just as far as that relatability, because you brought up the power call, and on that call as well, it was a young brother. He's 22 years old. He was speaking about, well, he didn't speak on it on the call, but we have a Telegram that we talk offline on. But
Yeah,
22, he been smoking weed since he was 13 years old, and he threw it
yeah,
all away yesterday, like on video, threw it all away. So these type of things we have to be able to see so that you know that black people do change once we have the right catalyst for the change. If we're looking for music videos, if we're looking for the news, or we're looking for the internet, the radio to change people, that's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is us changing. So like you, G, like you, Trey, Paul, the Unfiltered Brothers, us changing and other people seeing us change is what's
hmm
going to change our people. But us waiting on the government to pass a bill, us waiting on Adidas to make a new outfit for black people, us looking at the stock market to say, well, why black people ain't investing in the stock market? Because they ain't got no money. Let's not worry about let's not focus on the problem. Let's focus on the solution. The
there
solution
we
is
go.
make yourself better, show other people your process, document the process so we can learn, because we don't have any other outlets that care about us enough to be able to show us the right examples. They want to show us baby mamas and baby daddies. They want to show us a new reality show. They want to show us commercials and have us spending another $2 trillion a year on things that don't benefit us, and why we don't have institutions, and why these HBCUs aren't getting funded when we make enough money or spend enough money, more than we're the eighth largest country or nation, and we're not even a nation. We're not even unified, but we unify and spend our money with everybody else. All of these things are a side effect or a byproduct of lack of information, lack of empowerment, and lack of guidance. And who's gonna guide them if we just gonna leave everybody to themselves to figure it out? They're gonna fall off to the side. So my biggest
Yeah,
thing, and that's the reason why I've been working on myself so much, because I know what I've been through. I know what I didn't seen. I didn't seen the violence. I didn't seen the crime. I didn't participated in it. So I know what it feels like when you think that that's the only option that you have, and then you can come out of it. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have to do it. I came from a 2-parent household, worked in corporate America, and still got into the trouble. So is it the radio? Is it the music? Is it all that? Or is it the fact that we are in a position where it's not designed for us to be benefited on. It's designed for it to be built on our backs. And until we realize that if we don't get up off our feet, get up off our knees and stop begging, just like Trey brought up, complain on your knees. You can pray about it all you want, but if you're not acting, if you're not working every day to get yourself out your situation, not looking at everybody else and what they doing and what they not doing, what are you doing with your life to improve and showing other people that it's possible? Is it just what we want to happen, or do we really want to happen? And that's one thing that we talk about today. Do you serve God, or do you serve your pleasures? Do you serve your opinions? Do you serve other people or the fear of other people? Because if you believe in God, then you know that there's nothing impossible. So Black people will rise. There's nothing that's impossible. So we just got to be able to put the work in on ourselves and show people that it's possible. Then it can be possible.
I love it.
I want to add something. I want to add something real quick too, man. I think I want to say if it's something I do admire about Candice Owens, it's her bravery and putting herself out there.
Oh, God.
I would say that I admire that about her, and the reason I say that is and her strategy, because I think we can start implementing the strategy, because I know people keep talking about stats, and I might have to go do some digging just to confirm it. Who is the most mass shooters? You know, so when we went around and started calling white people, oh, y'all are mass murderers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are a bunch of mass murderers. We can look at molestation. We can look at some of these other things that what we've seen. And like I said, I don't got the stats, so I can't put it on them yet. But if I find the stats, I can put it on them too. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, but we so focused on trying to overcome our stuff or defend ourselves. Don't let us put a mirror up to y'all and show y'all, hey, y'all want to talk about us murderers? Y'all up here shooting up churches and schools and all of this stuff. We can put the mirror right back on you and show you what's really going on too. You know what I'm saying? I choose not to go that route because we need to focus on ourselves. So it ain't really, that don't benefit us. But if you want, it's every culture got their things where you could just point holes and poke holes at. You know what I'm saying? You can point holes, and like I said, I might have to go do some digging just to have these things on lock. You know what I'm saying? Just to counteract, not to use in attack mode. But hey, you want to call out us if we murderers? Let's talk about the mass shooters and how many people they take out and things like that. Cause we can flip it right back on them. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while to think about some stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give me a challenge. I'll figure out a way. You know what I'm saying? but it's not. But to go back to, it's not about that and what everybody say. We have our own issues. The things she pointed out are issues within our community, but that's not a reflection on Black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to put the action and saying all Black people are like this, when that is not the case. Because every time you say Black people are murderers, no, we have murderers in the Black community. It's a difference, because it's murderers in the white community. It's mass shooters in the white community. That don't mean all white people are murderers. That doesn't mean, and everything like that. It's my issue is when we start lumping everything as Black. You know what I'm saying? And it's never really good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff they might say, oh, Black people can dance or whatever like that. They'll say stuff like that, but that don't benefit us. You know what I'm saying? But anything that can hurt us, they try to attach and latch on to us. And so that's the part I just wanted to clarify. Like, yo, like, because I've seen people say, yo, put up stats and show the stats and stuff. If I get the stats, don't try to refute it. You know what I'm saying? And showing that, yo, y'all are just as murderers. Y'all might just do it in bigger numbers than what we do. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I want to say. Maybe we should use Candice tactics and we can flip it, but I prefer to focus on how do we better ourselves, how do we get our community right, because that don't serve us no purpose, what they doing. You know what I'm saying? We need to get ourselves right and correct the issues that Candice was talking about.
Right.
Plus, on that note, I know we're going going in. On that note, most of us who know better just do better. You know what I mean? So when you see all of the promotion, because if you can see it on social media, if you can see it on any type of media, hear it on radio, it's being heavily promoted somewhere. Uh, Most of us who know better, we could talk amongst ourselves and do all of that type of stuff, but we not outlandish. We not out here. All white people, all yeah, like we're not using those tactics. We don't stoop to the level of we don't stoop to the other people's levels, and we really do center in on what's around us and what we have control over instead of like realizing that this is pivotal for all of us, and we know that it affects all of us, but that's the same thing going back to that branding. Like you look at people in the hood, you talk about single baby mamas and stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's a thing, but it's not like the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many families, so much community. When I go out there, man, they give me so much love. They'll let me know if any danger is present. There was a loose dog around the corner. Be on the lookout. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like
that news dog headed straight for you too, Trey. They see that happen, they know who to attack.
Yeah, I mean, so it's when other people, such as Candice, who I know it's not talking to anybody of the impoverished area. You just gaining your stats. Again, I say it. My new slogan, second slogan is stats are not facts because those numbers didn't even add up to me. You fucking Milwaukee, Wisconsin, ain't no black people there. Anyway, so the these like none of that stuff is adding up to me. It's fun to be able to just throw numbers. And to trigger something. But I mean, how long do you want to be a negative catalyst? How long do you want to drive on controversy? You know what I'm saying? Are you actually doing anything, or do you just want attention? From the outskirts looking in, for her, it seems more of an attention grab. And like Paul said, it's good marketing. She's gotten what she wanted from attacking her own people, basically. And of course drew up conversations like this. So applause in effectively making something. I don't know what to give her, but uh, but the fact of the matter is like those stats are not facts because those numbers didn't even. The one time that I looked up statistics, I looked up how. Because once at one point, Richmond, Virginia was considered the murder capital of the United States. Um, so I started looking into it. This was years ago. I started looking into it, and I looked into how many deaths was caused by accident because I was like, the accidents in Richmond is crazy. It's like not a day go by without me seeing some type of 3 to 4 car pileup on the highway going to work and coming from work. I'm almost guaranteed it's going to be an accident. You know, those are considered homicides as well. But was those taken into consideration? It's almost always a white woman behind the wheel when I see it. Oh, okay. But yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. There's like, so who is creating these statistics? Who is creating the statistics? Was the propaganda, and what numbers are you actually including? Are you gonna go to illiteracy? We already discussed and established that the literacy test in America is bullshit. Like most of this shit. How much of school do you remember? We learned how to read in elementary. Thank you. They don't even teach cursive no more. You know what I'm saying? So how much is it really literacy? And then what you're testing, you're not teaching me how to think for myself. You're not teaching me how to, what I actually need. You're not teaching me how to actually learn. I learned how to learn at a business seminar. We learn more from what we say and do than what we see and hear. What they tell you to do in school: sit down, be quiet, listen. but then get upset if you don't participate. I mean, it ain't nothing but confusion. So this literacy, fuck that board, because they don't know what the hell they talking about either. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit is surface level. Remember, we go past that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take.
Hey,
We go.
so hey,
Appreciate it.
look, hey,
Anybody else? I'm sorry, Paul.
no. I was gonna say, man, we've been going for a while, man. We've been going for a while. It's 9 o'clock. Thank everybody for rocking with us. I wanted to give Unfiltered Brothers the opportunity, to say any like closing statements or anything that you want to say towards this topic before we get ready to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody hit a point, like, and I think I just want to commend y'all boys, man, like for real, like
Y'all too.
for real, like we look for this is the whole reason we started the podcast because these conversations was being talked about, and I'm like, all right, well let's put it out there, like it's always that conversation of change and like everything like that, and I always was told like you are a representation of God in your life. You represent God in your life. So sometimes it's not about us reaching out to the masses and making like this big overall change. Like Trey hit it. Like work on yourself, make yourself a better person. Like focus on you and make you better, and then you'll never know. Like I promise. Like I'm very blessed to have the friends and people in my life that I do because I don't know where I'd be if it was up to me. You feel me? So like, they get better, I get better. Then I talk to y'all, and then it's like, man, like I'm ready. I'm revved up. We recording on Saturday. I'm like, all right, we might have a part 3 of this conversation. Like,
Hey.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
I just want to say, we talk about the change. I know the 3 years doing this podcast, I felt myself growing as an individual. If you talk to some people around me, especially if you don't really know me as a person, they probably say like I'm an introvert. I don't really talk much, anything like that. See, exactly. But I use this platform, to speak my mind, to use my voice to be impactful for the community. And I'm just appreciative of God blessed me with the mind I do have to control my thoughts, control the decisions that I do make. Because even though we have a different mindset from those individuals that live in those poverty areas, but I still able to, like you said, humble myself and understand the things that they go through day by day. And I'm just appreciative. We have to be the change in our communities. I'm blessed to work with the youth in the community. I'm a youth league basketball coach, and I work with a youth mentorship program in the area. And it's good to see those kids. I've seen kids from elementary school that some of the kids that's graduated now, because that's just how long we've been doing it in the community. So just seeing them grow and being the positive role model, like y'all said, to them, so they can have individuals to look up to, and they don't have to look at the rappers, they don't have to look at the athletes to be that they know somebody that's actually out here doing what they're doing. We always talk about the media show this and that. We have the podcast now, so we are the media, so we can put out the information. We can put out the information that we want to put out, so they can go back and listen to it and take it into account and help their life, help better their lives and everything like that. So I just want to commend y'all for everything that y'all are doing. I really appreciate the invite. I love these type of conversations myself. Like Joe said, we have these in private, but it's also good to have it on camera as well, so we can start the conversation in the community. So once again, I appreciate y'all for the invite.
Yeah, real talk. Hey.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for coming out, man. Real talk.
Yeah, man. And so with that, man, we want to once again give a shout out to the Unfiltered brothers. We'll have their information down at the bottom. So shout out, man. Make sure y'all subscribe and tune in with them. Also, shout out Mr. West. He got the Silent Conversations podcast, man. The 3 Keys, the book, man. He got a lot of dope stuff going on. The Silent Academy, all that stuff. We'll have that information down at the bottom. And then, man, y'all just keep tuning in with us, man. We got the lives every week. We drop the episodes every Friday, so y'all make sure y'all tune in with that, man. But I mean, this was a great topic, man. I appreciate everybody coming on, sharing their opinions and being respectful. Everybody got their views and their thoughts and stuff like that, man. But the fact that we come together, we might have opposing thoughts or perspectives, but we could come together and still we want the same goal, which is a better Black community. That's what we want at the end of the day. So we want to thank everybody out there, man. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
I love it.
All right, and it's an end. We cut.
Man. Yes, man.
Yeah, that was fire, fellas.
Really?
Fire, fellas.
Hey, I ain't gonna cap. Look, Derek came to me like last night. He was like, "Hey, you trying to be on a podcast?" I'm like, "Why it's 7 o'clock?" Thursday. I said, "Man, look, I be gaming. I said, "Bro, I just bought a monitor. I'm trying to game, bro. You messing up my schedule." But no, I appreciate it. I was like, "Nah, I'm glad, bro. I'm glad that I was on this joint." I was like, "Yo, this was nice." I said, "Bro,
appreciate you,
do
man.
all y'all like live in Richmond?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I'm the only one. I'm in Houston. Everybody else in Richmond.
Okay. Oh, you know, you had said it was like 6:30 earlier, and I was like,
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, we're in the same time zone we in."
No. Yeah, I'm an hour before y'all, so it's only so it's 9 o'clock over y'all. Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah.
Oh, we still on stage, yo.
Yeah. I was like, niggas.
Oh man.
But that's awesome, man. I love y'all have more background. I honestly didn't know what to expect. One of the last episodes that I watched of y'all's podcast was one of y'all when y'all, I think it was like episode like 18 or something like that. I was like, yeah, like y'all was just getting into, yeah, we is. Y'all was just getting into the like being comfortable on camera and like saying, fuck it, I'm just saying what needs to be said. So I was like, by this time, they probably be just as raw as us. So I was like, I don't know what to expect.
Hey, it was a work in progress. I mean, we was on camera like this, bro.
They can tell you I had notes all in my phone, just going down what's on my phone and everything like that. I just
Look, now we'll have a conversation, and we got 2 segments. We got our main podcast, and then I do an unfiltered argument or unfiltered topic, which is just like a 30-minute debate or just 30 minutes of us bringing something that we can bring to the podcast. So we'll get on that jump ready to talk about school shootings. Next thing you know, we behind camera talking about favorite cereal. So I'm like, all right, well, school shootings on the next episode. I said, we running this cereal episode. And we'll talk 30 minutes about cereal, bro. I'm like, it'll be crazy, but it's just way more fluid now. And honestly, like, it's crazy. It's because Derek does, like, I commend him. Derek does, like, most of our stuff, like marketing and everything. And when he drops those numbers to us, like, you know,
I just want to say I kind of messed up my my computer glitch because I got a 2009 MacBook and the live cut like maybe like 2 minutes ago. So just letting y'all know. Y'all ain't saying in a while, so all I said was y'all was getting ready. I think the last part it said y'all had some notes. That's it. So I mean, ain't nothing too bad.
I thought we was done with the live.
Yeah, it might be it glitched, man. You know I got an old MacBook.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Crap it out. Letting out the secrets, man.
Hey, Wes, I meant to say this earlier, bro. You got the perfect radio voice. Hey, when Wes started talking,
still say we live.
Yeah, you do, man.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Thank
Wes
you, bro.
started talking. I said, that brother needs to be on radio.
Yo, we've been telling this dude, yo, this dude's so well
Right,
spoken and everything, man.
right. We've been like, that's the thing. Like, we're not just talking. Like, we really like, because for one, when I reconnected with Wes, I was like, nah, like, get your ass. Get your ass up, you know what I mean? He's like, everything happened in
Bro.
perfect time and everything happened. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Get your ass up, bro. Like you there, bro. Like I see it, I feel it, I hear it. I was like, bro, come out. We do if y'all ever in Richmond, we do a free session Sunday. So FMF fitness, mindset, finance. I'm the mindset portion. Paul is the finance portion. And Mr. Giovanni is the fitness portion. And for the fitness, like we try to do communal things. So we created free session Sunday. It drove traffic to his business with coaching and stuff.
Hey, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't want to cut you off, Trey. We're gonna cut this joint off, man. Y'all go ahead and get the phone calls because I think
We
we
still
might
live.
be live. But
Yeah,
I
we
cut
still live.
off. Yeah, I cut off the volume so they can't hear. But there's something going on with my 2009, man. So my
Yeah, I'm
2009
about to say,
need to go to sleep. So
guys,
I'll holler at
so
y'all.
you got our social
Yeah,
medias. Hit us
yeah,
up through that.
Yes, sir.
You know, we'll exchange contact information. I stay in the
yeah.
Richmond area often. My sister lives out there, so yeah.
Yeah,
If
I stop
Yes.
in Richmond sometimes too.
I
So.
might say yeah. So
Bet.
if you're doing an event, you want us to pop out, just let us know, bro.
Yeah, because we
Bet,
still
bro.
live. They can still hear us. So I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all heard the
All right,
background.
yo, y'all be
Y'all heard
easy.
about my 2009. I don't care if y'all talk about me. I'll talk to y'all later, man.
Peace, y'all. Peace.
Oh, Lord.